the majority of the crowd is really my kids. I get it. We're
Yeah.
the old
Yeah.
heads, but my kids, they didn't grow up on that, and but they found this. This is something we like. This is something we want. They're catering to these guys.
Yeah.
They're not really catering to us. We're more mature. We want these characters to grow up. We want these characters to expound upon the story, but they always have to keep these kids in the background,
100%. That's
right?
the target
And so
audience.
that's the reason.
Uh,
That's why Disney is there to make sure, hey, our kids,
Right.
right? It's all about Disney World to us, and you got to make sure you got the rides. You got to make sure the characters are on the up and up. You can't go to. This is
but
one thing I
now,
love about Logan, right? It Logan, one of the best movies ever created,
Yes.
but only because they had no rules to go by. This was old man Logan. This was no longer the young guy in the suits or whatever. This was the gritty rated R. There's no rules. You can do whatever you want. This is not for kids. Kids shouldn't watch this. This is for you, the old heads.
Mhm.
That's why it resonated with us.
Yeah.
All the other stuff is for the kids.
so
I
I guess
think,
I'll say this. If you
go ahead.
look at like Avengers versus Spider-Verse, just like the writing for Spider-Verse, I found much more enjoyable. While they're both kind of, targeted at younger audiences, Spider-Verse is
Well, it's
talking about things like identity, what you want to do with your life, how do you deal with differences in your own family. Whereas you look at the Avengers and it's just like, good looking guy, genius, builds a suit in a cave. Oh, his
Yep.
girlfriend's wearing the suit now. That's a struggle. Oh, he has
Yeah.
cancer. Just kidding. He's a genius and can fix it. Like, it's all very
well,
extreme, not
I think
down to earth stuff.
it's in a way you're describing what's a character driven story versus a plot driven story, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're trying to push the plot forward because we've got 3 movies already in the pipeline that
Yeah.
need to kind of build off of this element and that element. And that's not a wrong thing. Like, I like this connected universe and that you get to see these standalone movies and then these characters get to come together and have these different struggles. I thought, especially when we look at phase 1 through 3 of the original MCU, it's excellent. But I
Yeah.
think James Gunn knocked it out of the park when he talked about one of the key problems plaguing Disney right now is that they're finishing the script after they've already started making and filming the movie. And so it
Yeah.
ends up feeling like a lot of the times we've seen the third act just kind of like, oh, and now there's just a big CGI monster.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
and now it's done.
that's how
Yeah.
we wrap this conflict up. Like, Captain Marvel, for example, like the Marvels movie was so incoherent, and it felt like there was another movie, and then they didn't like that, so then they were like, well, let's just chop this all up. And it's unfortunate because I thought there could be some really great characters that could have played within that. And there could have been some really cool galactic story played in that, built off of Miss Marvel, which I thought was actually like Kamala Khan as a character and the actress who plays her like are great. But it sounds like those plans have been scrapped. But James Gunn, with him taking over DC, because it's like the Guardians of the Galaxy stand out. Like, it's like
Excellent.
you can
Yeah.
feel like, again, with Deadpool and Wolverine, with Guardians of the Galaxy, you feel that crafted movie. Like, you feel like it's got somebody who actually cares. It's Sony caring about their IP. Like, no,
Yeah.
I'm going to push back on that executive because this is actually really important, because that executive is trying to defend their position, but this is going to be something that's going to make better cinema. And I'm so excited for James Gunn's DC universe, which actually kicks off this year with Creature Commandos on Max. And my wife and I just recently subscribed to Max, so I'm like, we ain't canceling this until after I watch Creature Commandos, because that's going to lead into Superman coming back to the big screen next year. And we got Green Lantern Fillion playing the Green Lantern. Like, that's exactly who.
When is Gunn getting a Justice League movie? That's my
At some
question.
point, I think that's the direction. And
We
honestly,
need to wipe Zack Snyder's from our brain.
wipe it all. It's gone. But also, can I spoil one thing with Deadpool with you, Jay?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Calvary, baby. Like, do you remember that scene?
Which
Dante?
one?
Yeah.
So he's going to the multiverse of different Wolverines, and there was all of these rumors and
God.
stuff
Oh,
about Henry
yeah.
Cavill being in it.
Yeah,
and Henry Cavill
Calvary.
shows up as a Wolverine, and then he's badass. And I'm like, I'm wondering if they're setting that up for the future, where it's like, hey, we're
Yeah.
gonna bring Henry Cavill. You fired him from being Superman, but now we're gonna put him in Wolverine,
It's
and he's perfect
like-
for it.
I hate to
The
admit
spider.
it.
It's
I
like
kinda
it's
wanna
like the
see
Spider
Red.
Verse. It's like the Spider Verse for Wolverine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a really fun scene. There's like 80s Logan,
Yeah.
crucified Logan.
Oh,
Robot
it's
gets
insane.
very fun.
It's such a
Yeah.
good. I cannot wait. Jay, yeah, when you go see it, we got to get you back and we could do a full on just like
Yeah.
balls to the wall like what because there's so much in
It's
we've
a great
spoiled some
movie.
of it.
Yeah.
We've spoiled
There's
such a small
so
amount of it.
so much more that happens.
And it's so
Yeah.
incredible
Okay.
how they've
You're in for
hidden
so
all
much
of it. Like it's
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
think Ryan Reynolds is like, yeah, we filmed a lot of fake movie. So,
Yeah.
so it's just so that there's a lot of movie that what we filmed just so that if it ever leaked out that people wouldn't be spoiled because it wasn't real.
So
I
much.
think it was that
Yeah.
Hot Ones interview, or I know I just watched some interview where they were talking about they were gonna release a fake movie,
Yes.
like Badass Cop 5, more badassery. And
Yeah.
if people actually went to see it in theaters, it was just Deadpool 3. Like, oh
Yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah.
They said like it would go 10 minutes into a bad movie. Like it's just a bad
Yeah.
movie, and then after 10 minutes, then the Marvel thing would pop up.
Yeah.
and then go into it. And I was like, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Jay, where
But
can
if
people
that
find you,
fails,
man?
that would be terrible.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at JDubCity16. I'm always trying to keep you guys laughing with all the gifs and the memes. You know what I'm saying? Don't really do YouTube much, but you guys can just find me there on Twitter, man. I'm always dusting up stuff with the console war with Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah, just trying to keep you guys laughing and just poking fun at everything.
Dante, where can people find you, sir?
Check me out at dantescomedy.com. It's a terrible website I made myself. Please talk some shit on it. I need to update it, and I don't do it unless people talk smack. And yeah, Dante's Comedy on Instagram. If you're in Cleveland, hit me up. Come do some trivia.
And as we wrap up the show, I want to bring up a comment from Midnight Geek. This is a first kind of review and a positive comment that's on the content. Typically, it's so like thank God nothing offends me, right? Like my wife wishes that I could be offended, but I'm just like, oh yeah, I am a piece of shit. Okay, cool. But he says it's actually a positive one. So he says, hey guys, I've enjoyed your gaming videos for quite some time, WoW and Final Fantasy 14, but this is the first time that I've watched this channel, and I have to tell you that I absolutely love the discussion of all the different topics, not limited to gaming. Really enjoyed your thoughts, takes, and observations on world events and issues. Thank you so much for this. Had a lot of fun listening and learning. And so Midnight Geek, thank you. If you're listening to this too, you're one of us. You're one of us in the club and all that. And I thank you guys so much. And if you are enjoying this kind of content, we're gonna talk about everything, you know, like we're not gonna
smash that like button,
smash that like so that YouTube knows.
Is what the kids say.
Yeah. Smash that like, subscribe, and share, all that good stuff. But yeah, thanks to everybody for listening. This is the Stand Up Press Start podcast. I failed it at the start, might as well fail it at the ending as well. And we thank you guys, and we will see you back here next week.
Yes.